Hello, I am Aditi Dubey. Today, we enter a different kind of cancer story, one that doesn't start with genes or lifestyle, but with work, with the hours spent in factories, in mines, in shipyards, and labs, with the fumes inhaled and the dust particles that settle invisibly on skin, clothes, and lungs. This is the story of occupational exposure, and in Germany, it's a long and sobering one. Let's begin with the coal mines of the Ruhr Valley, once the beating heart of German industry. For decades, men descended daily into dark shafts filled with coal, dust, and silica. What they didn't know then, what science hadn't fully revealed, was that prolonged inhalation of these particles damages lung tissue and raises the risk of cancer, particularly lung cancer and laryngeal cancer. It wasn't just coal. In Germany's booming post war manufacturing era, asbestos was everywhere. It was in insulation, in brake pads, in construction materials, prized for its fire resistance and strength. But exposure to airborne asbestos fibers has a deadly legacy: mesothelioma, an aggressive cancer of the lung lining, and other pulmonary diseases. Even today, long after its ban in European Union, we continue to see cases because mesothelioma can take 20 to 50 years to develop. Germany's chemical industry, one of the world's most advanced, also carries a complicated history. In Bitterfeld, in East Germany, industrial chemical production during the GDR era released carcinogenic pollutants into the air and groundwater. In Ludwigshafen, home to BASF, Europe's largest chemical company, workers historically handled benzene, formaldehyde, vinyl chloride, and other substances now known to increase cancer risk, especially leukemias and bladder cancer. To be clear, modern regulation has changed much of this. The German Social Accident Insurance (DGUV), the Occupational Disease Law, and EU-wide REACH chemical regulations have created a framework of protection. Exposure limits are now carefully monitored. Personal protective equipment is mandated. Workplace cancers are recognized and compensated, at least on paper. But the truth is still difficult. In many sectors, the risk has not disappeared, it has evolved. Workers in plastics, rubber, and e waste recycling industries may still be exposed to a cocktail of carcinogens, nanoparticles, solvents, flame retardants, materials of modern convenience often studied only after their widespread use. Migrant laborers, temporary workers, and those in informal sectors may not always receive full protection or compensation. And while Germany leads in regulation, not all countries in Central and Eastern Europe enforce these standards uniformly. As production is outsourced or relocated, so too are the risks. But there are bright spots. Occupational medicine in Germany is robust. There is growing emphasis on prevention, regular health checks, and even predictive modeling using workplace data. Public awareness has grown. Unions and labor groups continue to advocate for safety and justice. And scientific advances like biomonitoring, early detection, and genetic susceptibility research are helping identify at risk workers before symptoms appear. Ultimately, this is not just about cancer in the workplace. It's about how a society values its workers. It's about choosing progress with caution, innovation with foresight, and development with human cost. The tools to protect lives exist. Now, it's about the will to use them consistently, transparently, and with compassion. I am Aditi Dubey. Thank you for joining me today.